It's big dog season, and you can't stay still because you want it. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Talk that talk.
This 920-page document would usher in the most conservative executive branch in modern American history, if enacted. It's called Project 2025. Its pages offer new administrations a blueprint for executing a right-wing agenda, from purging the government of thousands of civil servants to dismantling the Department of Education.
We do have to initiate the largest mass deportation project in the history of this country.
Former President Donald Trump has distanced himself from Project 2025, but Democrats aren't buying it.
Project 2025 would roll back our fundamental freedoms, undermine our democracy, and gut checks and balances.
Here's a closer look at the four main pillars of this radical plan and how they could transform the American government as we know it.
One of the things that's interesting about Project 2025 is the tone. You hear the term woke mentioned dozens of times, radical mentioned dozens of times. It's remarkably driven by culture war politics.
Project 2025 is designed as a government in waiting if Trump or any conservative president returns to office. It's the brainchild of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank and lobbying group that has helped staff Republican administrations since the Reagan era.
We cover literally every public policy issue in Project 2025, from domestic policy to foreign policy.
Kevin Roberts is the president of the Heritage Foundation and one of the driving forces behind the project.
All Project 2025 is trying to do is to be a corrective to the liberal nonsense that has been so insidious inside the executive branch for the last half century.
The Heritage Foundation says Project 2025 is backed by more than 100 conservative organizations and a $22 million budget.
So I think the size, scale, and sophistication of Project 2025 is unprecedented.
The project has four main pillars: a policy plan, a personnel database, an online academy, and a playbook for the president's first 180 days in office.
We can be ready to hit the ground running on day one of the next administration.
The first pillar is a policy agenda that focuses on dismantling the so-called administrative state, or what some conservatives call the deep state.
Either the deep state destroys America, or we destroy the deep state.
For Project 2025, dismantling the administrative state means purging the civil workforce of tens of thousands of federal employees and replacing them with conservative, pre-vetted picks.
There is a concentration not just of power, but a concentration of radical leftist ideology in these employees. Hopefully, we will see over the next 10 to 20 years the elimination of entire cabinet departments.
The plan would dismantle the Department of Homeland Security, eliminate the Department of Education entirely, and transform the FBI into a political task force that is accountable to the president.
But the leadership of the FBI has been awful and rotten and not transparent for a long time. It is very important that Congress reestablish its purview over the FBI generally, its jurisdiction.
To give a sense of how radical this is, the FBI is an organization that has never been run by a Democrat. And so this is an organization that in its bones is a fairly conservative organization, and where now you have right-wing voices saying that it should be eliminated.
The playbook also outlines a plan to bring many federal agencies, like the Department of Justice, under more direct presidential control.
What Project 2025 articulates is the idea that the president should be the one directing the activities of the Department of Justice, even if that means that the president will not be investigated, or that the DOJ will be sent to attack the president's political enemies.
We will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
The Heritage Foundation says it wants to ensure that what remains of this whittled-down federal bureaucracy is conservative, not just for the next president, but for a long time to come. Pillar 2, personnel database. The Heritage Foundation has already contracted the technology company Oracle to build this database, kind of like a conservative networking platform.
We've recruited Americans all over the country, and so we've had well over 11,000 people who've applied to be considered by the next president and his administration.
Trump really emphasizes loyalty, and you see those practices now being adopted by Project 2025, where you fill out a form that essentially indicates if you are loyal to President Trump or not.
Once they're fully vetted, they can move on to Pillar 3, an online presidential administration academy that would train future bureaucrats in conservative values and governing.
So we want these people who are competent, who have great credentials, to be prepared for the specific job that they will have.
Project 2025 provides detailed policy plans for dozens of government agencies, outlining ways to create de facto abortion bans, slash federal investment in renewable energy, and roll back environmental regulations. Here, you can see several sections dedicated to consolidating U.S. immigration agencies and expanding their power.
Number one, we have to close the border. We do have to initiate the largest mass deportation project in the history of this country. The 12 million people who've come in as illegal aliens must be sent back to their native countries.
But how legally sound are these policy proposals, and what would they look like in practice? That's where Pillar 4 comes in, the playbook for the first 180 days of a conservative presidency. A big part of the plan is modeled off of a Trump-era policy called Schedule F.
Schedule F is originally an executive order that Trump signed that would allow him to turn thousands of career civil servants into political appointees that he could then fire if they displeased him in any way, and then have to be more responsive to a president who in the past has shown a willingness to fire people for disloyalty rather than for competence.
The Biden administration reversed this order in 2021, but Trump has vowed to bring it back if he is reelected.
First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively.
I think Schedule F is not just possible, but it's certainly an incredible priority of a second Trump administration. The problem with Schedule F is that there is no real limitation to the number of people who could be converted.
Underpinning many of Project 2025's policy proposals is a legal principle called the unitary executive theory. It is based on a clause in the Constitution that says the executive power is vested in the president.
The Project 2025 assumption is that the president has something called unitary executive authority. This gives him enormous untested powers to essentially do whatever he wants and reduces the power of Congress to check those powers.
Conservative Supreme Court justices, like Justice Samuel Alito, have signaled support for the unitary executive theory and skepticism of federal agencies.
The current Supreme Court has shown itself to be very open to claims that the president has enormous executive authority and so should be able to hire and fire people at will.
In July, the Supreme Court granted presidents immunity for any official acts taken while in office. Legal experts say this decision could set the stage for expanding presidential power.
Trump would be looking at a Supreme Court that would be quite sympathetic to his claims that he has extraordinary executive powers, far more than previous presidents, and would allow him to do things that previous Supreme Courts would have checked with other presidents.
Other legal scholars say the unitary executive theory and some of Project 2025's more radical proposals simply aren't realistic.
It will inevitably draw dozens of lawsuits if all of its policies are implemented. So you cannot eliminate an agency without Congress agreeing to that. Congress has the power to create agencies and to eliminate agencies unless the Supreme Court suddenly grants new power to the president.
Project 2025 has garnered increased attention on social media.
Project 2025.
Project 2025.
Project 2025.
As Democrats shine a spotlight on its sweeping proposals.
Project 2025 will destroy America. Look it up.
This agenda is a fascist, authoritarian dictator's dream. And we know that that is exactly who Donald Trump wants to be.
Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman is part of the Stop Project 2025 task force.
So what we are trying to do is make sure that every American who is going to go to the ballot box on November 5th knows exactly what they will get if Donald Trump wins.
More recently, Trump made moves to distance himself from Project 2025. In a Truth Social post, he said he knew nothing about it, calling some of the proposals ridiculous and abysmal. Goldman says these statements are part of a larger political strategy.
So many of his former top officials are at the head of Project 2025. It is a political calculation that he's making because he recognizes that the American people do not support this extremist agenda.
President Trump is trying to win a presidential campaign, and we understand that he has to make political considerations. Given the millions of dollars that the left has spent attacking Project 2025 because they have nothing else to run on, I wasn't surprised to see President Trump's statement, nor are there any hard feelings.
Back in 2022, Trump spoke to the Heritage Foundation and was direct about its role in crafting future policy.
This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
Trump's own policy platform closely resembles many of Project 2025's proposals, too. From cracking down on immigration to blocking gender-affirming healthcare and stopping a woke and weaponized government.
Given the persuasiveness of these ideas, the overlap that exists between Trump's stated priorities and the priorities of the project, that will all sort itself out. It really is the conservative playbook, not just for the next year or two, but hopefully for the next generation.
Today it is Tuesday, July 23rd. The year is 2024. I'm putting my phone on mute every time I do this. This thing does not want to. I don't know why this phone does this. But anyway, I'm going to do a video once a week on Project 2025 so we can all just kind of get an idea. Once a week, I'll look up some information. It's a 900-page book or a plan that the conservative Republicans and the Heritage Foundation, the Christian right, which to under the Trump administration, although Trump has denied that he is a part of this, which is a lie. I don't trust Donald Trump as far as I can throw his June 6th rebellion ass. I do not understand how anyone in their right mind can support Donald Trump when in his final months of his administration, he showed his true colors about who he was and how he felt about America by trying to overturn an election that he lost. And it just makes you wonder what is going on that people continue to support him. Why do people continue to support somebody who literally tried to tear this country apart? And Donald Trump is not going to be happy. He is a miserable soul. Not only is Donald Trump a miserable soul, but the people who support Donald Trump, and I have personally met people who support Donald Trump, black men, they are all so fucking miserable. I have a friend who's constantly talking about the Republican Party is for families. They for families being together. But nigga, you got kids outside of wedlock that you were never married to. Make this make sense. How are you for family when you got children that you had outside of wedlock? Every single person I've met who's black, who says that they're Republican and they're for families and all this family rights and all this shit, none of them are married. They got children by multiple women or one woman or whatever. Now just sit back here thinking, nigga, you're a walking contradiction. You got children that you had outside, that by women you were married to, that you're not taking care of, and you don't want to even pay child support. You got all this shit going on, but you got the nerve to say that you're a Christian and you're a Republican. Nigga, get someplace and sit your motherfucking ass down. Every black person I have met that supports Donald Trump in the conservative right and the Republicans is fucking insane. Every white person I've met who supports Donald Trump and is Republican, they're fucking crazy, bitter, angry, at who knows what and why. But these are the people that you all think want to lead this country to a better place. They want to make America great again. Figure that one out. What's their version of making something great again? Sound like to me they want to tear this shit up. The last few months of Donald Trump's administration was enough for me to never see that man again. Never see him again. How he didn't want to turn the administration over to Biden. How he didn't want to do all the stuff that he did. And then the icing on the cake was June 6th. The rally he had held that morning before they went over and tore up that damn place. So what I am going to Project 2025 is a lengthy, very long, 900-page document that has to be read. Some people have read the whole thing. I have not. I've not made the decision to read it because there ain't no sense of me reading because I don't want nothing to do with the Heritage Foundation. They just their name on it. And Trump Republicans, I don't need to read that shit because I already know what it means. It means it's something bad for me and my family and my life. I don't like nothing about the Republican Party. I don't like anything about Donald Trump. I don't like nothing about them crazy Christians. Bunch of fake bullshit. However, so once a week I'm going to delve into that Project 2025 because some of us don't know. We don't know any better. We just drive going on about our business, arguing with somebody over Beyonce's latest CD and who Drake and Kendrick fighting over some damn rap song or what's going on later. We don't. And all the while your life is going insane. But in the background there's a whole bunch of shit going on that will impact all of our lives. All of our lives. Every time I log onto YouTube, I see these black YouTubers who support Donald Trump. It's a whole bunch of them. They are the most ignorant individuals I've ever met in my entire life. I don't know how, what, and why people thought I supported Donald Trump. That is the most ignorant shit. They see me messages, I'm like, dude, I'm not on y'all side. I don't see why any black person in their right mind would support Donald Trump or any of those Republicans. I don't understand it. I don't get it. This is the most crazy shit I've ever heard in my entire life. I mean, my uncle votes Republican. I think he's the most ignorant individual on planet Earth. He's been voting Republican since I was a kid. I remember when he was voting for Reagan. I was thinking, I couldn't have been no more than in the sixth or seventh grade. I'm like, Reagan? I've always enjoyed politics. And I've always researched and read about politicians. I'm not sitting over here just naive to what's going on in this country around us and what these people are up to and what they've been up to for years. It's very concerning to me, though, that so many black people don't see how the conservative Republicans have worked so aggressively and so hard to destroy black families and destroy black people. But they see it the other way around. But see, I've learned something about black folks, particularly black men. Something wrong with all these black men out here. A lot of black men got some serious mental health issues going on. A lot of them. A hell of a lot of them. And then I'm in the gym, I'm talking to guys, meeting them, and the stuff that come out their mouth, I sit back and say, this nigga crazy. A lot of black guys have some serious mental health issues, y'all. We just have to keep it real. How the hell you talking about some you for the family, but you got multiple babies by multiple women, you ain't married none of them. You mad because they're making you pay child support. Those are your children. They're just walking contradictions. They're walking around believing in something that it's just almost insane. And I've been saying this for the longest. Something is really wrong with these black men in our country. A lot of these black men are not mentally doing very well. What happened? I don't have no clue. I can't figure it out. But I know we have a ton, thousands, millions of black men who suffer from mental illness because I deal with so many black guys. And I talk to so many on a regular basis over the years. I sometimes sit back and scratch my head like, okay, what did I just have? What just happened here? And they could be gay, they could be straight. Something's wrong with these black men in our country. I don't know what didn't took place. Maybe it's something in the water and the food they drink and eat. I have no idea. But I deal with every time I talk to these black men, and I'm not saying there's a lot of them, y'all. There's something off with these guys. Something terribly wrong. That went wrong with black folks in this country. But we'll see. But anyway, I want to do a video, and I'm gonna bring out some good videos about Project 2025 so you all can know what's going on and the impact it will have on our lives if Donald Trump gets his ass back in office. Some of y'all might not care, because I do believe that a lot of these black men are on suicide missions. That's why a lot of these black men, when they fall out with these women, they go kill her mother, kill everybody, and kill themselves, because they really are suicidal. So they vote suicidal. They vote against their own interest. You know, when I sit back and talk to these crazy black folks, I say, okay, these niggas are insane. Which is why, like I've always said, I tend to stick to myself. I don't want a bunch of people in and out my home, especially a lot of black, you know, everybody got a gun, everybody running around here on the edge. A lot of people, you know, they picked my nephew up there. I've been trying to help for the past few months. Finally locked him back up. I was like, oh, good, so he can stop calling me. I knew that was going to happen. It was just a matter of time that they were going to pick him up. That was just the TV he wasn't going to do right. I get you a job, you making decent money, you out there on the job smoking marijuana. Who does that? First off, ain't no smoking marijuana illegal? Isn't that against your probation that you on? Don't they drug test y'all? I said, okay. So I knew that was any day now I was going to get that call. He was in jail. I got his girlfriend. They locked him up. He just so-and-so up. And I said, okay, thanks for letting me know. And immediately blocked her number. She didn't call you no more. I'm going to call you, let you know what's going on Monday. No, you ain't, because I'm about to block your ass. You won't be getting through over here. He back where he need to be, jail, because he didn't want to do right. He didn't want to do the right thing. And this was the shocking part to me, just on the side note of my nephew and this woman he was running around here with. They were living in some hotel off of one of these badass streets. And one day they called me and said, we get moved out of the hotel room. And they were begging me for some money that they can go to some other hotel room. I said, okay, what's going on? And then I never knew this. And they said, well, she got kids over here. And somebody, her children in this hotel room. I'm like, y'all living in a hotel room. Y'all got kids. What the fuck is going on here? Not that I care. And I'm listening to this nonsense. First off, those were not his children. They were her children. Y'all done moved into this hotel room and brought these kids over here and all this chaos and confusion. Why are y'all living like this? I really don't even give a fuck no more. He back in jail. I told that bitch to lose my number. I blocked her ass. She gonna figure it out when she call over here. She won't be able to get through. I don't even know who this woman is or where she came from. I'm like, he got out of jail a year ago. Next thing you know, I'm running around. He running around with this woman. He did make it a year and a half out of jail. Could have made it much further than that if he hadn't been running around with her ass trying to take care of her children. It's like, okay, nigga, make this make sense. Those are not your kids. Had he stayed where we had found him housing the housing we found for him was just for him only. He brought her into that house. I found somebody who was in the room for convicted felons. He could have stayed at that house. He went out and brought this woman in there. That wasn't going to work. So he got thrown out of his housing situation. I guess they thought they was going to come over here. The devil is a lie. I don't even believe in the devil or Jesus or Christ or the angels and all this other shit, but the devil is a lie. That motherfucker ain't coming over here. I wonder why people always immediately think. I have another friend who is going through a health crisis right now. He's going through chemo. He has cancer. And, you know, ripping around in the streets. I've known him for years, all over the damn place. And he made the comment, oh, well, you know, Walter, I might gonna have to come over there and stay with you for a little while I'm going through chemo until I get back on my feet. No, you ain't. I'm so sorry that you have cancer and that you're going through chemotherapy. And I said, go home to your family. Let them take care of you. Because if I let you in this damn house and then chemo don't go the way you think it's going to go, you're going to be stuck up in this house and I'm going to have to take care of your ass. Ain't happening. Go home, nigga. But anyway, Project 2025 presents some really, I really don't know what to say about black folks because y'all, we so caught up in so much other shit. How can we even possibly be aware of Project 2025 when so many black folks are just trying to stay put alive for the day, just trying to put food on the table? And black folks got it bad off. Really, 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 really got it bad off due to their own doing. I'm a firm believer that going out and having a bunch of children is nothing but a ticket to poverty. Not taking care of your health, not doing anything right. I don't know. That's why I'm about to drink this little coffee, go to this refrigerator and eat my little, I have a, what is this stuff called? I want to show y'all some. Hold on now. This is something I take every day. I find works very well for me. Sea moss. I found a sea moss gel at the health food store, and every day I've been taking it. You just take a spoonful of it. You got to be keeping the refrigerator jar lasts probably about. If you can find you some sea moss gel, you keep it in the refrigerator. This is actually a peach flavor. You all might want to look for that. And I take it, and it keeps me growing. It makes me feel great. I take it every morning. You could actually take this twice a day if you wanted to. Take 2 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons twice daily, regularly to see full results. I normally just take 1, but sometimes I remember I take 1 before I go to bed too. But it helps me packed with vitamins and a bunch of other stuff and anti-inflammatory, 92 minerals. I'm not really a vitamin person, but I do like this. So find sea moss if you can. Those of you who are interested in trying to keep your health, stay in good health. I'm about to cook me breakfast, take these dogs out while I'm cooking breakfast, get dressed, get my day started. Project 2025 is not good for us. Every day I'm going to do some videos. You all can watch it and make your own decisions about this type of stuff. In between y'all wondering what Drake and Kendrick is fighting over and what happened with NeNe Leakes on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you might want to be concerned about what these white folks up to and what they about to do to y'all damn lives. Anyway, today is Tuesday, this is July 23rd, the year is 2024. I personally think this whole Project 2025 thing is dangerous. I think Donald Trump is dangerous. I think Donald Trump's supporters are dangerous. I think anything involving Donald Trump is not good for this country. We went through 4 years of chaos under that man, and y'all want to go back and put him back in there again? Like I said, the last few months of Donald Trump's administration was more than enough for me that man should not be back in that damn office. January 6th was the icing on the cake, and everybody wants to ignore this. Okay. Anyway, I'm out of here. It's Tuesday, July 23rd, the year 2024. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of the beautiful day. I look forward to reading you all's comments. And let me know what you think about Project 2025 and how do you feel about it.